Welcome to Naughty Nautilus. This is my channel where I talk about the crafty things I like to do, primarily cross stitch, but sometimes quilting as well. I'm hoping to do more quilting videos in the future. My name is Corinne. If you're new, if you're not, welcome back. I'm happy to have any and all here. Yeah, so quilting is, I would have said was my primary hobby, but I hadn't been doing it much. I've caught a bit of a bug and been doing it more as of late, so I wanted to try to get into making updates more regularly. And if you hear some banging, we are getting a new roof. We're kind of in a lull, and I'm trying to sneak in a quick update today. So, what have I been doing? You'll see some things behind me. But I want to talk about, I did finish a quilt top. So I just have one quilt top done, and I'm seeing all these little bits. I had to frog some things. I have little bits of thread I apparently didn't get off. But I did, in fact, finish the cat holes quilt. This is by So Fresh Quilts. I'll put a picture in of what it looks like here. And this is going to be for my nephew, so it's kind of fun with a bunch of different novelty prints. But I did indeed get it all together, and I had sewed the top and the bottom half together wrong. And I didn't realize it until I went to take a picture and had to pull off the borders and fix it. But yeah, so let's see. I'm trying to figure out how I can show this to you. I don't have enough space to kind of get all the way back and show you, but you saw the picture there. But so, like, you know, I've got my different cats. So this one's got hot sauce, this one is sushi, this one over here we've got ramen and a fun Star Wars print. These three, we have chili peppers, is that the hot sauce again, and then the bagels, kind of whatever. There's kind of fun novelty prints, the peppers, and I did put some variety in their paws and noses and little buttholes. So some are hot pink, some are light pink. It was meant to be, I originally planned it where the hot pink was going to be on the lighter prints, and then I ended up mixing it around, and then I just kept mixing it around. I figured it's an accident, but it works. And there's that last one there. So, did get this done. It's a variety of novelty prints. Some came from Joann when it was closing. Some came from some stash I purchased from somebody else. Background is batik that I purchased from Joann. Kind of gives it a nice medium tone to it. Complements the cats, but it gives a little bit of movement there. If you look close, you can see it is kind of a floral, but from a distance you can't tell. So yeah, next step, get this quilted. So I have a roll of Warm and Natural. So I'm going to use that. I've got some fabric. I'm going to use another novelty print on the back. Since this is for my nephew, he knows all these fabrics going in. We're kind of just going wild with it. So that is on the to-do list. I don't know how I'm going to bind it yet. I don't know if I'm going to use more of the blue, or I might pick, I have black and I have white yardage. I also have a darker blue. I'm going to wait and see until I've got it quilted with the backing and decide then. So I also do still have some of the yardage from the cat, so I could use some of that. I'm not sure yet. So that's my one quilt top finish. I have been making progress on my socialites, so that's what you're seeing here. I don't remember where I was, but I have been slowly working my way. I was behind. I don't know, I was probably like here or here. the last time I showed you. So I've been just kind of working my way through them a couple at a time. I find like 2 to 3 I'm okay with doing, because I am doing the 3.5-inch blocks. They'll finish at 3 inches. So they are small and a bit fiddly. So I have been working through those. So we are up to, I think this is number 23. 24 came out last Friday. Oh, it is Monday, August 10th. I always forget the date. So 24 came out on Friday. 25 comes out this Friday, and then I'm assuming we're going to get the setting block. So this should be at least a finished top, if not a finished quilt, the next time you see it. I am using a fat quarter bundle that had 12 batiks in pinks, purples, and blues. And just a white batik from Island Batiks for the background. It's been interesting. They have you use like a whole collection for the 3.5-inch squares. They recommend a layer cake so you get a lot of variety. I don't have that variety, so it was kind of a challenge to myself to like, how can I balance this out with so few colors. So that's why I ended up putting it up here as I've been working through, so I can kind of look and say like, oh, okay, you have a lot of, you know, I have this dark pink here and here, so as they're going in this area, maybe you don't want to use that particular fabric there. Or you look and like, when I did this one, I was like, you have a lot of dark over on this section, so make a block with some lighter prints. And you can see some of my points, very lovely. This one's one of the better ones. Some of them I did not get so perfect. Like on this one, you will notice my flying geese, I do not have a 1/4 inch there. I realized it when I went to trim it down to size that I measured wrong, and then I decided I don't care. So I'm gonna lose that point. That's fine. I didn't want to remake one flying geese for that. So I'm not gonna hold each individual block up. I will do that when I have them all together, but I have been working through that. The other thing was, I was going through, I don't even remember what I was looking for. I was looking through my stash, my closet behind me. I have some things stashed, not in the nice organized stash, but just kind of thrown in. And I had a bunch of these 1/4 circles. I'll grab one. This piece that were remnants from a previous quilt. So this was the waste, the scrap. And I was like, I mean, that's still a good chunk of fabric. So I did have to trim them down, but I was looking at it and I was like, what can I do with this? I've got 1/4 circles, like what can I do? And I realized I had a bunch of leftover solids from the Spectacular Savannah that I did for my friend's baby, plus a mix of random fat 8s. I'm looking at some of them, the rejects. I had a Kona bundle of colors, and these were like brighter, so I picked sort of the more muted ones in the same tone as the ones from the Savannah quilt, and I just cut them into random strips. I did 1.5 inch, 1 inch, and 2 inches, I think, and just kind of randomly sewed them together, cut my pieces here, and made 1/4 circles. And you can see I still got kind of my line from lining them up, but basically I have them situated so that depending on how you put them, some of the stripes are going up, some are going horizontal. And I'm planning to put them together kind of so they're in motion. You can kind of see what I've got going on here. And I've got 67 of these blocks. I just made as many as I could. I've got a few up here because this is what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. I think I want to get some sashing in the same neutral in between to separate out the blocks. I don't know if I want to put a little cornerstone or just have it be more of this. And then I don't know what I'm going to do for a border. I don't have any more of the strips. I was only able to get 67 blocks out of it. So I would have to buy more yardage or find a print or something for a border for it. So this is sort of, I just wanted to do some sewing, work through some stuff. I have no immediate plans for getting this together at this point. Again, it was just sort of, I wanted to sew, I wanted to work through some stuff, and that's what came out. So, yeah, it's been sitting here sort of as a tryout. Probably going to go away now. I was leaving it to show you guys. But they're all kind of a mix of colors. So you can see we have some like yellows, some couple different greens, couple blues, sort of more like a brown orangey color, more of a rust color, darker rust there. So I'm happy with it. I don't know where this quilt is going when I'm done. I often just sew because I want to. That's probably why I have so many quilt tops that need to be finished. I just want to sew. All right, so that's kind of things. Well, you had seen the socialites, you had seen the cat holes. That's new. I'm also working on a quilting and quilting adjacent project. It's sort of a sew along with an online group. This is, so we'll start at the beginning. This is the sew along. They are sardine pillows, and they come in, it's by Woolly Petals. They have a 24-inch, a 36, and a 72-inch expansion. So this is what the group is working on. And I am planning to make several of these sardines. But I made one with some scrap denim here. So I had a dark and a light. And just kind of put him together. There's a couple variations. So it's already got cat hair on it too. There's a couple of variations for doing the fish. You can do a solid body. You can do just the head, one color, and then the body a different color. Or you can have this two-part, and then you can do it on one side or both sides. So I did it on both sides for this one. And the original pattern has felt for the eyes that you applique, and I just raw edge appliqued some denim for this guy. So there's one sardine. I do plan to make a couple of them, and I'm going to be using some Ruby Star Society. So this is my box of scraps from the sampler quilt, the curve sampler that I did. I had a lot of extra parts of Ruby Star Society, so I decided this was a good opportunity to use some of those scraps. So it's a bit chaos here. There's two parts to going on in here. So there's the sardines themselves. Like I said, I have plans to make 4 in the Ruby Star Society, and I've got them like sorted out by size. So most of these, it's 4 fabrics. I plan to do them double-sided. Sorry for the crinkling. But you can see, for one, we're going to use these fabrics. I think this is, the pink is the head. These will be the fins. This will be the top of the body, bottom of the body. For that one, this one, we've got, these are all from the Florida line. So we're going to do one with that. They're pretty quick. The one I did last night, it sewed up pretty quickly. So I'm not worried about making a bunch of them. They're really fun to make too, actually. So this one, we're doing some, that color palette. And I'll reserve the right to do more if I feel like doing more. This is my last one. This one here, I sort of kind of did keep some lines together. This one's going to be a bit more muted. I don't know, I might change out some of them, but they're kind of just fun ways to use up some of these scraps. Like I said, the whole box is, if I take these out in a random bag, 2 random bags, you can see like I got a lot in here still, and I pulled out some more with another scrap project in mind. So yeah, we might do more of these sardines here. So that's the sardines, but there's a companion to this pattern, and I'll put it here. This is, so she has a quilt pattern where you make a sardine tin, several different tins, as you are looking through it. And then she has a pattern to make the sardine tin 3-dimensional. So an actual sardine tin that you can fit your sardines in. Me being me, loving marine biology, kind of obsessed with the whole sardine thing right now, I want to do this. So I'm going to be making it's an 18 by 24 inch vertical sardine tin. So this is what the piece is going to look like on the top. And then I bought some fabric. So this is a little bit of haul in there, as I had to purchase some fabrics to finish it. So this is all foundation paper piecing too, so there's small amounts needed. So I am using some of my scraps for that. I have them designated, and I am using, this is speckled in cayenne. So this is my background that I'm going to be using. And I actually have my little top row done. So did my piecing, and I got it here. So I've done very minimal foundation paper piecing. I'm trying to get better at it, and I figured this is a fun way to do it. So far I'm happy with my color choices. We're going to see as the 3 sardines come in, but yeah, it's going to be a bit darker. So that's going to be the top with that. And then there's sides, binding, and a lining. So for the sides, I'm going to be using this, which is another Ruby Star Society Trinketry, I think is the line. It's also Rashida there. So I'm going to use that for the sides and the bottom. Lining here, you guys can really see the metallic of the goldfish there. I'm trying to get it good, not too reflective. I figured if it's fish, why not have fish? And then I'm going to bind it with this. So all together, we are getting quite bold colors. So I'm excited to see it come together. I was trying to get out of my comfort zone a little with some of these colors, going extra bold for the design. So we are working through that. So like I said, that just started. I just did that yesterday on it. So there will be more sardines. There will be the tin, hopefully next time I see you. That'll be done. Maybe I will have my cat holes done. And I've got the other quilt I need to bind and hand stitch down for my stepmom. So that's kind of the plan. We'll see how much gets done. But that's what I have for sewing. I'm hoping to come back more regularly. I'm not sure how well that's going to happen. It might be 6 weeks. It might be a month. It might be 2 months. It's really going to depend on what life does. But that's it for my update. I'm going to give a brief life update. If you saw my floss tube update, there's a little variety, a little change. We're going to see. So it's going to affect plans. So essentially plans are fluid right now. So if that's all you were here for with the quilting, I'm happy you stopped by. I hope you come by next time. If you're curious, check out the floss tube and what I cross-stitched, and I will see you next time for a very brief life update, because also I've got some food in the oven right now, and the timer's probably going to go off soon. I did finish up my summer semester, which is, I found a lot of time to sew in between because I did not have as high of a teaching load as during the normal semester, and wrapped up last week. I have only been working part-time and applying for jobs, and I applied for a job, got an interview all in a few days last week. So I'm sort of at this weird stage where I might be continuing with the part-time job I have right now, or I'm pause for a moment here. All right, that was my lunch being done. Let me finish my life update real quick. So I had a rather rapid application and interview process, and I am waiting to hear on that. Depending on how that goes, it is academic and fall semester starting. So I could find myself with full-time employment in the next, 2 weeks or so. So I don't really know what that's going to do to my crafting and everything else. I've been working part-time pretty much since the end of May of last year. So I've had a lot of free time. So I have done a ton of cross stitch. I've done a lot of sewing and quilting and things like that. And that's because I wasn't working 40 hours a week. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Fingers are crossed. I did the best I could in my interview, and now it's just we wait. So, yeah, that's kind of why I can't give a massive update, or can't really have these grand plans. I have things I'd like to do, but I don't know. Everything's in flux right now. So, yeah, that's my life update. Not much else. I'm going to let you go on and get about your day. Again, this is a rather short one, but that's kind of what I expected. I had not done a ton of sewing in the last month or so. It's only been really the last week or so, maybe 2 weeks, that I've really taken off with it. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you come back. Let me know what you think. I'm curious of thoughts on this one. Do you like the spaces between it, or should I put it all together? What would you do for a border, or would you leave it maybe just this solid color as a border and let this speak for itself? I don't know. I'm curious. Sometimes that's how I quilt. I just sort of make blocks and then figure out how they need to be set as I go. But yeah, I hope you come back. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.